But we're gonna move on to our main topic now. Kind of just touching on Alien Romulus, but touching into like franchises coming back. So this is a note that Aladdin mentioned in the group chat for us to talk about. But we've noticed that there are a lot of franchises returning back into cinema. So like of course we have Alien, we have Beetlejuice, we have Inside Out. There's a lot of sequels that are coming out, and it seems like they are the main thing that's now in cinema. I would love to hear you guys' thoughts on what seems to be like the new standard for movies now, that it has to have an IP that people recognize for it to flourish. Aladdin, do you have any thoughts on it? Because of
Yeah.
course you're the one that mentioned it as a topic, so great to hear you
Um,
start off.
it is very difficult to talk on it because like if it was easy, it would be like okay, sequels are shit and new IPs are good, right? That's the easy way of talking about it. But the fact is, there have been some sequels that are better than the original. One that comes to mind is Blade Runner, where the sequel was significantly
You know
better
what?
than the
Yeah,
original.
I'm with you, but I think a lot of people will disagree with that.
Take away nostalgia, they will agree with me.
Probably,
Take away
probably.
nostalgia, and so it is a difficult conversation to say or it's a difficult question to say is it a good thing or is it a bad thing. Fact is, a lot of the time it is a money thing. A lot of the time it is.
I think it's only a money thing.
I think no, not all the time. I think certain sequels they're done with a certain level of passion.
I mean, you can
And
put passion into it, but it's definitely because right
I mean
now,
they do it
a
for
lot of
the.
you, did you see the clip of Mac Damon talking about why comedy is no longer in cinema anymore?
No, what do you
He
say?
said, well, I'll play the clip as well on the screen for people to watch. But essentially, what he said was, it died when the DVD died. So a lot of comedies flopped in cinema, but they made the money back through DVD. And once you
Oh
took
wow,
away DVD, now they can't rely on the comedy to do
You
well.
can't
And
justify
streaming.
the risk in it.
yeah, and that kind of relates to the IP. Cinemas, well, companies, production companies can no longer rely on people just to watch something just because it is a good original idea. They need something to give them somewhat of a like confirmation that it's going to sell. That's why we're getting a lot of video game adaptations, because we know there's an audience for that. That's why we're getting a lot of Marvel films, because we know there's already an audience for that. So I hear what you're saying, but I feel like the main reason they're doing it is for money, but they might get someone that's passionate to do it justice.
I do think it's more expensive to make a movie now than it was back then.
Oh yeah,
So
I agree.
based on that, back then they can take as many risks as you want.
Yeah,
You can lose the money because the fact is it wasn't that much money anyway.
yeah,
Um, and when a movie did good, the profits were insane.
crazy.
Rather than
Just from
now,
the cinema tickets.
yeah,
Forget about DVD.
right. So
Yeah,
rather than now, when a movie does good, it's profit, but we just spent half our budget on Robert Downey Jr. So it is one of those things where there were lot more movies coming out back then. It was just throwing movies and seeing what sticks, and now people are a lot more like specific and particular, and they really want it to work. And it's a lot more risky to do an original story, an original IP.
yeah,
And I almost like that. I like the A24s and was it Neon and those
yeah,
art house movies where they ain't got budget, which means they're forced to be creative. What they say was
yeah,
that line, I can't remember what the line is, but the lack of resources will force them to figure it out.
yeah,
Whereas when you have unlimited resources, you get the Marvels,
yeah.
right? So
But A24 is kind of going through a issue right now where it's like a lot of the original IPs flopped in the box office.
yeah,
And so much so that they're actually trying to find something to franchise. So there was a bidding war. They were trying to buy Halloween, but they got outbidded, so they lost Halloween. But it seemed like they're trying to make a franchise with obviously the success of Talk to Me, the horror film, which was like a 3 million budget but made like over 100 million. They're announcing a sequel, which is a first time I've seen A24
yeah.
even do a sequel to
And
a
look,
film.
and as much as we hate to see a small studio that's been making amazing movies now lean into the whole blockbuster side of things and whatnot, it's part of the process if you want your business to succeed in this field. And the only thing you can do is try to stay true to yourself and try to stay true to your passion for the movies. But the fact is, you won't win like that. Like Marvel, for example. Marvel's a great example. Marvel, when they released Iron Man, that was the biggest risk they could ever have taken.
Yeah,
Because had that movie flopped, they lost, Marvel Studios would have lost all their IPs
yeah,
to other studios. They put everything on the line, and it's that passion and desperation that created 10 years worth of magic.
yeah.
But now that they're comfortable
Would
and
you
they
say
got bread,
would you say you're happy with the fact with Hollywood doing sequels, or you're kind of against it?
Yeah. So on the sequel thing, it depends, man. I'll be so real. It depends. Like, sometimes I really enjoy watching a sequel. To give you a great example, Planet of the Apes. Right, I watched all the Planet of the Apes movies ahead of the new one, of course, called Kingdom. And Dawn of the Planet of the Apes was the best thing they could have done.
Yeah.
That was a sequel. That was a reboot, and something they brought back from an olden IP, and it was sensational.
Yeah.
So whether I like it or not, I can't. There is no yes or no answer to that, unfortunately.
But we're getting a lot, though, bruv. Have you seen what we did the last episode? We talked about D23. Bruv, everything that was announced was a sequel.
Some of them were good. That's
the thing. Like he was just saying, like it depends in the realm of Disney. Disney, unfortunately, are all about the money.
Yeah.
But they also, some of this shit slaps, bro. Because look this way.
Toy Story 5.
Toy Story 3 was a sequel that
I know,
right?
but it depends if the story.
That was good as well.
Once the story
Toy Story 4 was not good.
I thought it was good.
You like Toy Story 4?
Dude, kaboom! Are you dumb?
No, Toy Story 4 was okay, but it was unnecessary.
But at the same time, Toy Story 3 was an unnecessary sequel as well. Look deep
Not really, because you never really mad at a third film because you went a trilogy.
Technically,
look, I got it here. 1 second.
No, technically, I hear what you're saying in terms of it's unnecessary. However, at the end of Toy Story 3, you have the arc. It's like a perfect arc.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, and then it ends. But then when you continue after the proposed ending, that's when it becomes like unnecessary territory.
But at the same time, we get these situations, and they just keep going. And eventually they might catch it with one thing. Like I think Indiana Jones was good, shit, and then one of the later ones was really good.
The early ones
I didn't watch
were all good.
Yeah.
Then they had the Shia LaBeouf one, which was
then
whack.
it went left
and
from
then
there.
the new one, the last one that just came out was whack as well. And
maybe that's a bad
crazy.
example.
I think the budget was like 300
Yeah,
million
it
plus
lost
or
Disney a
something.
lot of money. A lot of money. And they were banking on that to do really well. They were going off the premise of it's not original IP. It's IP that people know, and so they just assumed it will do well. That's why they put so much money into it, and it flopped. So that's a prime example of actually realizing that maybe going original is the best way forward.
But going original works, and I play devil's advocate because you already know I love my original IPs. But I can't just allow you guys to say, and I'm not saying you are saying it, but I can't allow there to be a narrative of sequels are bad, because they're fucking not.
They're definitely not.
And we
bad.
all agree that they're not, because there are some sequels that slap.
I think
like Top Gun Maverick.
There we go. This is a great example.
Yeah, but that's a perfect sequel in terms of there's a huge gap between it. Not much people even knew that it was even a sequel. So there was enough of a gap in between for you to go, okay, let's get another one of those.
I got a great one right now. I'm on ChatGPT. I've got like a bunch of them.
Chat.
GPT chat. Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift came out in 2006.
Oh, cut, man.
Let me land. Fast and Furious 4 came out in 2009. Now, is that a big enough gap?
Yeah.
3 years is a big gap, right?
Yeah, no, 3 years, not really. But Fast and Furious 4 was good.
But it came back and
Fast 4 was good, wasn't it?
Fast
when Rock jumped in.
Yeah, and then 5. And then
that's
5,
Fast 5. Fast 5 is when Rock came in.
I think so.
Fast 4 is something else.
The Fast 4 was with
Fast 4 was alright though.
But in fact, what I'm saying is that it's brought back, and then because when it was brought back, it started becoming amazing again. Because then you got Fast 5 and 6 and then 7.
Yeah.
We don't talk about 8 or 9 or 10.
No, we ain't talking about that. Or X.
X part 1 out of 3. But the fact is, like, we can't just say.
I think it goes with the great line of, what, you live long enough to become the villain, bro. Like when the franchise,
if you die a hero or live long enough to become a villain.
When you pump in too much.
Like even
Okay, what about Mad
yesterday,
Max?
even yesterday, it got announced that John Wick 5 is coming.
Oh, cut, man.
Like,
No. I'm
Bruv,
yeah.
However,
spoiler alert, he died.
He died.
No, he didn't die.
But you're both right. He did die. But he didn't die.
They did it off camera. See how these executives work.
They filmed it for him to live.
Yeah.
But with discussions, they put it with him not showing like no after credit scene.
Yeah.
Just to see how things go, see how well the movie does.
Yeah.
But they wanted to bring him back.
Yeah.
But I don't think they should though.
Did anyone watch The Continental?
No, I heard bad things about it, so I stayed away from it.
I don't want it.
Yeah,
But no,
like allow it. But yeah.
The thing is, maybe I'm weird. I want to try to do this thing
Don't
where
overstay your welcomes. I'm
but
not against sequels, but don't overstay your
I
welcome.
think that's alright because my thing is now John Wick 1 good, John Wick 2 good, 3 good, 4 good. If 5 is shit, I can just delete that out of my mind and just have my first 4. But take the risk. Because John Wick 4 was unnecessary. Yeah, it fucking slapped.
It was unnecessary.
John Wick 3, I mean, the sequel.
I think all of them was kind of unnecessary.
Right?
After the first one was good.
Anyway, that's a standalone movie.
Yeah.
So you take the risk and you make a 5th one and you do it with the passion that you had with the first 4. And if it slaps, cool, get involved in this franchise. If it's dead, we don't have to think about it ever again. We can think about the first 4.
Yeah.
But it's not my risk to take. It's their risk to take, and it doesn't ruin it for me because I'm not so invested in it. I just really enjoy them.
Yeah. But I don't see where would John Wick 5 go. Like,
Where would John Wick 4 go?
No, John Wick 4.
They figured it out. I don't know, but I'm saying they make a story.
But the way John Wick 4 ended is like, bro, you could just end it. Like, what are you gonna bring back him to do?
He's killed everyone. He's got to the high table. He's done everything.
It doesn't make no sense. The high table, he kills the high table. The high table comes back. He gotta kill them again.
The only thing I've seen interesting, like
the dog is back. No, he's fighting the dog.
The interesting concept I've seen with John Wick 5 is someone saying like it will mirror like Dante's Inferno, where he's fighting his way out of hell. I would be interested to see like.
Right, so there's definitely
that's taking it left. That's supernatural shit.
I know that's Constantine.
No, but there's always a story.
Hey, he did play him.
Fact is, it's not my responsibility to figure out the story. It's the writers, and again, 5 wouldn't ruin it for me. Even if it's the biggest, if it was worse than Madam Web, it wouldn't ruin it for me.
You think we should get a Shrek 5?
A Shrek 5. We get anyway, whether I like it or not.
No. I'm good. I'm good, bro. I didn't even realize there was 4 Shreks.
No, the one with the Rumpelstiltskin.
That's good. You should stay like that. Still. End it.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, my thing is now, fuck it. Like, I've gone to the point where, now that I've been heartbroken by Marvel, I'm like, no, I just don't give a shit about nothing. I'm on a fucking thing, like, do it. Do it, and if it slaps, happy days. If it doesn't, I don't give a fuck. Because it's not my movie.
It's just a matter when you can blatantly see, like, certain things are just purely motivated, like he was saying, by money. Like with Marvel, you got before now, not everything hit with Marvel.
Yeah.
But now they're just oversaturating. When something makes money, they're like, okay, we're gonna do the Continental TV series and then the Ballerina spin off, and then like it's just like
wait, Ballerina spin-off?
With Anna de Armas?
Yeah, there was talks.
Oh, I thought you were saying Ballerina spin. If
Oh,
making
no,
a pun.
no, no, no,
That was a
no,
great
no.
pun. But,
Oh yeah, spin-off, yeah.
but that's it. But, but that's it. Like the fact is, some of them is good. Like Gen V was good.
Gen
right?
V was good.
That was a spin-off. And
yeah, well, I was talking about, I'm not mad at spin-offs.
yeah. But the fact is,
when
like,
you do too much.
yeah,
but that's what
what is too much?
Do we
my thing
like
goes.
Echo? I don't want no Echo series, bro.
Damn, did no one like Echo?
Nah, bro.
yeah, but to the series on that guy from Rogue One that no one knew about
What,
that
Andor?
died. Andor, right?
Andor was good.
I know.
good.
Yeah, but I'm saying
Yeah.
that's who he was. He was that random guy.
But it's like the ratio, like with the Star Wars series, like the Acolyte, and then you have the Bad Bunch, and then you have Mandalorian, which was good until it wasn't.
Yeah.
And then you had, what else was there? The Star Wars series.
Ahsoka, Obi-Wan Kenobi,
Ahsoka. Oh, shit.
Obi-Wan.
There was Baba, is it Baba Fett?
Boba
Book
Fett.
of Boba Fett.
Boba Fett.
It's just
Right?
like the
But
ratio's
what I'm
crazy.
saying is, on the Andor thing, is in terms of spin-offs, it's basically the same as Echo. Let's be honest. It's just a next.
Not really.
If anything, Echo is more interesting than Andor. As a character, Echo is more interesting than in the comics, and but yet Andor worked and Echo didn't. And to me, I think it was because of Tony Gilroy, how he said, "I don't give a fuck about Star Wars. I want to make a good film."
I think that's where it comes from. I think it's just execution. Like Andor, to me anyway, is like you're taking the Star Wars franchise, but you're adding the government side to it. It becomes more interesting. You're adding another.
No, but they've
cast
always
to
did
it.
the government shit. It didn't work until now.
To me, well, I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan, so I could
They
be wrong,
did it in
but
the
I just
prequels.
never experienced that way until I saw Andor. It felt more down to earth, more like people orientated, more spy, like government, like backstory towards
Also
it.
depends on who you get involved with the project and
Yeah,
what's your
that's it.
motivations behind it. We will never, I guess we'll never know what their true motivations
Could have been
behind
money.
it. It could be like,
It's
you know,
Disney. You know what I'm saying?
I just genuinely want to tell a really good story as opposed to be like, okay, let me give this person who's never had an opportunity to direct something, and then we wonder why it flopped. It's like, okay, let's look at this person and they've only been involved in trash, but let's, for the sake of representation or whatever the case may be. They just do, you know. Do it by numbers.
What's going through my mind right now? What did, assuming Disney didn't propose it, it was Gilroy that proposed it or whatever. What did they actually have to do to propose this particular show about a random brother that got end off at the end of like deep? How do you even propose this show, where you go and say, remember that guy that no one knows his name, that no one knows about. I want to make a story on him.
I think
how do you propose
Rogue
that?
One just did so well in comparison to the other Star
But there are other characters in Rogue One. I'd rather watch a backstory on the guy that made Death Star plans. He would what's his name? Mads Mikkelsen's character. That would have been a great show.
We all know about the stats. That character probably did really well in terms of testing. People must really like that character in Rogue One.
Really?
Maybe it was enough for them to say. I'm saying that we don't know the backstory of what.
We really don't, and we're theories right now.
This can work.
Yeah.
But for every reason, it did, and it did work as well.
That's what I'm saying. So I bring up Andor to say that spin-offs and sequels, they really are they really are 100% risk. What the motivation of it existing, or what the motivation was for it to exist, to me is irrelevant. What is relevant is the creators, directors, screenwriters, and writers, and I want to say student interference as well. How much they really involve themselves rather than, because I don't think they give a shit about Andor. I thought, do what you want, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Whereas with Obi-Wan, it's Obi-Wan. Do this. Ahsoka, do this. Fucking, I don't know, whatever other shows were Mandalorian eventually was like, do this once it became good. So studio interference has a big part to play whether something lands or doesn't land. But the way I also see it, another side to it is that if they're still interfering, that means they must have done interference in the past where it worked.
Yeah.
There must have been some type of interference in the past where it actually ended up working out very, very well. Otherwise, if it's always been trash, why are they still doing it?
I hear it. I guess it comes like the sequels will always exist regardless. So I think the next argument is that to make sure that the ratio is there, like the ratio to
That's what we need.
Independent or original IPs to franchise, and it seems like the ratio is kind of off right now. So because
there's very few of us. People like us that watch these kind of movies, they don't. There's very few of us.
And I think a lot of their thinking, like when they get into their think tanks, their brainstorming, it's a lot of like logic and algorithm. Okay, what will make us the most money, or what's the lowest risk and the most money will be to take something that has an established fan base IP, and so you don't have to work to build one.
Yeah.
And that will gain us the highest reward from the lowest risk, as opposed to creating something entirely new.
Which is business, bro. It really is business. And like A24 and Neon and all these small time studios, they don't care about business. Yeah, I mean, not 100%. That obviously is there.
But more on the
but they
creative
just
side
want
of
to.
things.
They understand the fact that if you just make a good story, just make a good story.
Yeah.
It really isn't that difficult, man.
I think it just goes to the balance, man. If we can get more of those balanced with the sequels, then I'll be happy. But the certain sequels that needs to go, fam. Like.
But I think that's why I've created, like, I can just delete them out of my brain. I didn't no longer exist. And I'm happy about
that. Your brain like that?
Yeah, man. Just control delete my guy.
Give me that hard drive, fam.
Yeah, just control Z, just undo it. But that's it. I can just delete these things out of my brain and say, you know what? My Toy Story franchise ended at 3. There isn't 4 and 5.
I ain't gonna lie, I think Toy Story 5 might slap still.
Theoretically, it looks fucking great, right?
So
now my thing's like, oh,
the concept looks interesting.
My Toy Story franchise is 1, 2, 5. 1, 2, 3, 5.
You skip. Oh, it's scored 4, and he says.
I'm saying, but like, then I have to do that. So technically 5 is 4 for me. But either way, it's not our risk to take, and it's our responsibility to choose what we like, what we don't like, and we don't give money to shit, and we give money to the good. Simple as that. That's why I didn't go watch Man on Web. Even if I really wanted to watch it.
Yeah.
I want to see how bad it was, but now I'm not giving you money for that. I'll watch it if I have to. You wasted a car.
Cool. Fair.